Hello there. I'm going to try to make this short, famous last words, but let's see what we can do here. As I noted in the introduction, stuff in this last chapter is both new but not new. It is material that we have looked at in various forms throughout the semester so far, and it's topic areas and concepts and ideas that people have been raising for a number of years. Question is, how much is just hyperbole, if you will, and how much is reality? That is, how much is really new? Well, at one level, uh, I, I'm not sure how much is really new. Technology is new, but so was the Industrial Revolution in the 1800s. So was the automobile and airplanes and electricity and a whole variety of things that occurred in the late 18 and early 1900s. Those were pretty disruptive kinds of things. And international trade after World War II, and on and on and on. If there is one thing that I can kind of point to, it might be the pace of change. That is, that there's always been change in business, but the pace of it may well be faster today. Communications, um, the interconnectedness between economies, between companies around the globe, transport, etc., may well make the pace of change quicker, and that probably does have some implications for business. So, what might those implications be? Well, the chapter, I think, raises some good questions. Kind of the objectives of business. What is the broad goal? What do we focus on? Big one is the notion of the complexity of advantages. The days where you could do one thing and do it very well in one industry and milk that for many years are gone in almost all industries. There's probably a few places you could still find that, but not many of them. So we have to find ways that uh, build on advantages that can be leveraged across multiple areas. Dynamic capabilities is a term in the chapter, also mentioned back we were talking about business capabilities. Uh, so capabilities that you can change and adjust as your world changes and adjusts. The whole options theory notion may well hold some promise. Um, and certainly new ways of organizing. We have seen that in various chapters as we've gone through. Not only changing the structure of organizations, perhaps the ownership structure, even, certainly the underlying processes and routines and hierarchies, uh, and certainly the leadership. Uh, Again, though, I guess one of the things that makes me pause is that I've been in this business. I entered the doctoral program at Penn State in 1985. Um, Started teaching in the became a professor in the early 90s. Uh, and many of the things that are talked about in Chapter 16 were being talked about then. Networks and alliances became hot topics in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Um, Self-organizing complexity theory has been around quite a while. The butterfly flaps its wings in China and something happens in the US through an odd series of interconnections. Um, and leadership. I'm going to send you to just a piece of an article we wrote a number of years ago on leadership and how that might need to be different. So it's not just me, it's not just my co-authors. There have been many people in business fields that have been writing about this for 20, 30, or more years. So if that's the case, why is this not common practice? Why is it not all? Why is it not things that every business is doing? Well, I guess one answer to that could be that it's not needed in all businesses. So while there is change, there are certainly still pockets of businesses where traditional approaches to business probably still work. I think a larger issue, though, and this is something that we have touched on in past lessons, is that our systems, our societal systems, our government systems, our rules and regulations in society, our underlying beliefs don't always legitimate some of these new ways of business doing business. We are used to a system where there is an owner of things, and we invest in the company that owns those things. We are used to leaders as kind of great heroes who do it all. The notion of leading others, letting others lead themselves, kind of goes against that grain. Uh, Heck, the basics of economics, self-interested behavior, maximize your own utility, kind of goes against the notion of collaboration uh, and working with others, and the fact that you may well do better by helping others do better. So, you're welcome to come to your own conclusions. For me, I think we're going to keep making slow, maybe steady, but uneven progress towards some of these new ways of doing things until we are able to really change the thinking of society in the US, but in many of the developed countries, uh, around how we think of business and ownership and the role of business in society. So I'll stop there. I don't know what, whether you really got much out of that. I hope so. I'm really trying to make you think about what's real and what's not here. Again, I'll send you to a piece, only a piece, of an article we wrote a number of years ago, and then we'll have a short discussion post, and that'll be it for this week.